In the wake of Oz the Great and Powerful the previous year, an independent animated film called Legends of Oz: Dorothy's Return somehow ended up in theaters in 2014. It was a resounding critical and commercial failure. This film came and went very quickly and was regarded as a head-scratcher as to why it ended up in theaters and not straight to video. It didn't help that this little indie movie somehow had a $70 million budget attached to it, including celebrity voices like Lea Michele, Dan Aykroyd, Jim Belushi, Kelsey Grammer, Patrick Stewart, Bernadette Peters, and Martin Short. How did this movie happen? How did it get into theaters? What's the deal, Legends of Oz? Alright, so apparently the producers of this film, Roland and Ryan Carroll, have a questionable history of raising money since 1993. They acquired cease and desist orders and fines in Oregon, California, Wisconsin, Utah, Michigan, and Illinois for potentially fraudulent means of raising money. Plus, fundraising for this film started all the way back in 2006. So I guess between all that questionability and hustling, they were somehow able to rub shoulders with the right people, rope in celebrity voices, get Bryan Adams on the soundtrack because he's really hip with the kids in 2014, and the result is a movie that nobody saw or cared anything about. But how is the movie itself? It's bland. Very, very bland. Not good, not horrible, but very forgettable. It's yet another sequel to the original Oz story, but instead of adapting the marvelous Land of Oz again, Legends of Oz is actually based on the 1989 book Dorothy of Oz, written by L. Frank Baum's great-grandson, Roger Stanton Baum. As such, the source material is not in the public domain because it's not part of the original 14 L. Frank Baum books, nor is it considered to be part of the Oz canon. I have not read Dorothy of Oz, but it is kind of refreshing that a more modern book got adapted into a movie. So what's the story, you may be asking? After having returned to Kansas from her first adventure, Dorothy is summoned by her friends back to Oz because a villain known as the Jester is oppressing people using the Wicked Witch of the West broomstick as a magic scepter. It's another what if Dorothy went back to Oz story, and doesn't do anything too earth-shattering with that premise. That's really the whole problem with the movie. The animation is better than most indie animated movies, but it's nowhere near Disney or DreamWorks quality. It has celebrity voices and a pop star on the soundtrack, but they're not considered A-listers anymore, nor is this their best work. Plus, the plot has a lot of logic holes in it. And I'm saying that given that Oz is a world that doesn't operate by the rules of our world. There are some creepy moments with the animation, but those are my favorite parts. Speaking of which, the villain, known as the Jester, is a particular highlight because Martin Short is clearly having the most fun out of all the actors, but he's still not enough to save the movie. I'm making it out like Legends of Oz is a horrible movie, but it isn't. There's just nothing extraordinary about it. It's nowhere near worth the full price of a theater ticket, back when those existed, but it might entertain kids if their parents can find it for free or if it's on a streaming platform. It might be of passing interest to someone interested in Oz adaptations, but otherwise there's just not a lot to write home about.